Hello there, welcome to NTV English News Bulletin. I am Bhavana Casey. In the beginning, we have the headlines. Country mourning the loss of lives in the tragic crash of 80s aircraft. 67 bodies recovered so far. Search for remaining missing in 80 airplane crash continues. Bodies to be handed over to their relatives today. Scheduled meeting of Sudur Paschim annual meeting of World Economic Forum kicking off from today in Swiss town of Davos. Russia-Ukraine war and other global economic pressures in focus. And defending champion Nadal facing draping in his opening round of Australian Open. Raducanu puts injury worries behind her to set up clash with golf. Welcome back. You are with NTV English News Bulletin. Now we have the news in details. The country today is mourning the huge loss of lives in Sunday's tragic crash of plane of 80 airlines. The government recovered from the crash site while works are underway to recover the remaining 5. The government has also decided to lower the Nepali national flag to half-mast today in mourning of those who lost their lives in an air crash. Messages of condolences are pouring in from across the world on the lives lost in the fatal crash. The ATR-72 plane belonging to 80 Airlines carrying 68 passengers and 4 crew members on board had flown from Tribhuvan International Airport to Pokhara at 10:33 a.m. on Sunday. While the crash has yet again drawn international attention about the air safety condition of Nepal. The plane fell deep down into the Sethi River gorge just few seconds before landing at Pokhara Regional International Airport. Among the deceased, 53 are Nepalis, 5 Indians, 4 Russians. The bodies of 26 passengers on board the 80 Airlines aircraft that crashed in Sethi Gorge have been identified. The search and rescue works resumed this morning after it was halted on Sunday evening with difficulty to continue the search efforts due to the darkness. District Police Office Kaski's spokesperson Gyan Bahadur Kharka said among the 67 bodies taken to Pokhara Institute of Health Sciences, 26 have been identified so far. Kharka said that the relatives have been requested to come to receive the bodies that have been identified. The fate of others is still unknown with very slim chances of finding them alive. The broken parts of the plane can be seen on both sides of the Sethi River gorge while some plunged into the ravine. However, most of the dead bodies were recovered. The airline's plane crash that took place in Pokhara on Sunday. All the 10 have been identified, which includes a central member of Federation of Nepali Journalists, Tribhuvan Paudel, a resident of Kusma Municipality, Ward number 14, 46-year-old Arun Paudel and his 11-year-old daughter Prasti of Kusma, Ward number 9, Rachana Kafle, and her 10-month-old son Rihan Kafle of Kusma Municipality, Ward number 1. Assistant Chief District Officer of Kaski, Guru Datta Dhakal, shared that the bodies of all those who lost their lives from Parbat have been identified. Dhakal added that the bodies will be handed over to their relatives today. With this update, time to go for a short break, but still to come we have. Welcome back now to more updates. Prime Minister Pushpa Kamal Dahal discussed cabinet expansion, election of the Speaker of House of Representatives, among other issues, with CPNU-ML chairperson KP Sharma from the Parliament. Even after Prime Minister Dahal received the vote of confidence, there is delay in expansion of the cabinet. In the meantime, the scheduled meeting of the ruling coalition could not be held. Prime Minister Dahal has called an all-party meeting on Tuesday. Newly appointed Chinese ambassador to Nepal, Chen Chong, paid a courtesy call on Prime Minister Pushpa Kamal Dahal this morning. During the meeting held at the Prime Minister's official residence in Baluatar, Ambassador Song congratulated the Prime Minister on behalf of the Chinese President, the Vice President and the Premier. He also conveyed greetings for the new year 2020-23 and said that China would always be with Nepal on her path of stability, development and prosperity. On the occasion, Prime Minister Dahal expressed his gratitude for the Chinese cooperation, friendship and fraternity while extending the best to the Sudhir Pasim Provincial Assembly meeting that was called for today has been postponed following the national holiday in mourning of the plane crash victims. The meeting is rescheduled to meet at 10 a.m. tomorrow to continue its procedure to elect the speaker. In its previous 2 rounds of voting, none of the candidates secured the required majority to become the speaker. Ruling coalition has forwarded Mao Centre's Bhim Bahadur Bhandari, while Nepali Congress has put forth Man Bahadur Rawal to vie for the position of speaker in the Sudhir Pasim province. The Provincial Assembly meeting of the Madhya province has also been postponed till 1 p.m. tomorrow. The meeting scheduled for today has been postponed following Sunday's plane crash in Pokhara and the subsequent declaring of the national holiday to mourn the incident. Chief Minister of Madhya, while the election of the Speaker of the Provincial Assembly was also planned for the same day. Ramchandra Mandal of CPNU-ML and Jangilal Rai of Nepali Congress have filed their nominations for the post of the Speaker. With this update, a time to go for a short break, but still to come we have. Welcome back. You are with NTV English News Bulletin. Now to more updates. The Swiss town of Davos will host 52 heads of state and governments and nearly 600 high-ranking business people as the World Economic Forum hosts its annual meetings in the Swiss Alps starting today. Forum organizers said their latest landscapes will tackle issues facing a divided world as 2023 begins with war and conflict and economic pressures and climate change being in focus. Russia's nearly year-long war in Ukraine and COVID-19 restrictions and now a wave of infections in China have helped weaken the global economy. The Ukraine House will feature for the 5th time in Davos, but with a focus on the need for weapons to fight the conflict in the Ukraine. Nearly 50 vehicles collided on an icy highway near the South Korean capital on Sunday night, killing 1 person and injuring dozens. At least 47 vehicles were involved in the accident on the Guri-Pochin highway, where they skidded on the slippery road and collided in succession, according to Hwang Tae-gun, an official at the fire department city. Many of the vehicles, which included at least 1 commuter bus, had damaged fronts or rear end hospitals for the light injuries. The crash was the biggest among multiple traffic accidents that occurred in the country over the weekend because of icy road conditions and snow. More updates lined up on the other side, but before that, let's have the highlights first. Now to sports. Defending champion Rafael Nadal is facing Briton Jack Drape in his opening round match in the Australian Open. The match is underway with Nadal leading the second round of the Australian Open with a straight set win. On the opening day in Melbourne, the British number 1 won 6-3, 6-2 against Germany's Tamara Kotspatz. The world number 77 now faces American 7-seeded Coco Gauff in the round 2. Xavi claimed his first trophy as Barcelona's manager after a comfortable victory over rivals Real Madrid in the Spanish Super Cup final. The La Liga leaders dominated the match in Saudi Arabia and took the lead when 18-year-old Gavi fired in from Robert Lewandowski's pass. Lewandowski struck just before halftime when he finished from Gavi's pass. Gavi got another assist in the second half as he set up Pedri before Karim Benzema struck a late consolation. Real Madrid were just unable to handle the brilliance of Gavi, who alongside his 2 assists became the youngest scorer, Xavi. With this update, we come to the end of this English News Bulletin, but before we say goodbye, let's have a quick reminder of the major stories. Country mourning the loss of lives in a tragic crash of 80s aircraft, 67 bodies recovered so far. Search for remaining missing in 80-year plane crash continues. Bodies to be handed over to the relatives today. Scheduled meetings Sudapasim Province Assembly to elect Speaker postponed for tomorrow. Madhes also rescheduled its meet for tomorrow. Annual meeting of World Economic Forum kicking off from today in Swiss town of Davos. Rasayukra Singh drape in his opening round of Australian Open. Raducanu puts injury worries behind her to set up clash with golf. That's all we have in this edition of English News Bulletin. I'll see you again with next round of English Bulletin at 6 in the evening. Till then, have a great time ahead and do stay tuned with us to catch the latest news updates and other programs. Namaste.